Mask on. Belize has not yet beat COVID-19 as hospitalizations on the rise. A man loses his life in a cane field, while remains are found in Toledo. And some of Belize's most influential people join forces to fight hunger in schools. These stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
Good morning, sweetie. It's time for school.
Are you a teacher or public sector employee who is thinking of owning your new home? Get the keys to your new home with Belize Bank's all-inclusive mortgage, the best financing option in Belize for your new home purchase or construction. inclusive of all mortgage-related fees, no down payment, affordable terms, amazingly low interest rates. Visit our nearest branch to speak to one of our financial advisors to discuss how you can be one step closer to owning your new home. Some conditions apply.
Introducing Edam A cheese, the A+ Dutch cheese to hit the Belizean market. As the name says, it is of A-class quality, the best Dutch cheese in Belize. Edam A cheese is creamier, less salty, and simply more delicious. Don't be left out. Get your A cheese at a supermarket near you. A cheese exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited. Call us at 610-3626 or 610-8910. Follow us on Facebook at Unitex Belize.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Thursday, June 3rd. I am Sabrina Daly. For those of you who have been feeling like Belize is now post-pandemic, tonight there is a reminder that we still need to exercise caution. As you know, on Tuesday, there was an additional COVID-19 related death, bringing Belize's total to 325 since the start of the pandemic some 15 months ago. While the figures remain on the lower side, tonight we can report that the Ministry of Health and Wellness has recorded increasing hospitalizations. Over the last 3 days, the number has increased to 8, with 2 in critical condition at the intensive care unit of the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital. Today, News 5 spoke with Minister Michelle Shabat.
We're seeing a little bit of increase in numbers. Yesterday we had 40 new cases reported. The day before that we had 10. But what we're looking at very carefully is the number of hospitalizations. Over the past 4 or 5 days we went from 3 to 4 to 6, and up to yesterday we were up to 8. And so that is of concern to us. And so we're keeping a close watch on that, Dwayne.
Those are all at the KHMA?
Yes.
Critical cases, sir?
I believe there might be 2 in the ICU, but the others are in the critical care ward.
On Wednesday, we reported of a positive case of COVID-19 detected within the staff at Wesley High School in Belize City. 2 weeks earlier, a number of students had tested positive at 2 primary schools. They were closely related to an outbreak that was detected at the Princess Casino. In all instances, there are protocols that were followed to discontinue classes and to sanitize the classrooms and schools to ensure that there was no further spread of the virus. Well, tonight, Minister Shabat confirmed that several other schools have identified positive cases.
We did find that somebody at Wesley was positive, and so they had to close down the school. I think they were going to be having a meeting or a conference of teachers and so on, and so they had to shut that down. There are other schools that have also reported. I think St. Luke also has one, and I believe there's a school in Orange Walk that also has reported a teacher positive.
Minister Shabat says that it is even more important that teachers get vaccinated because they are the first line of protection for the children who are expected to return to classrooms for in-person learning come August or September when schools reopen.
This is the only way to safeguard our kids. They're entrusted with our children. You know, over 200 schools have gotten permission to go back to face-to-face. And so it is critical for teachers to be vaccinated. In August, hopefully all our schools will be going back to face-to-face classes. And so please come out and get vaccinated. There's a lot of fatigue by the general public, but we must continue to adhere to the public health measures. We must continue to wear the mask. We must continue with the social distancing. We must continue with the hand washing. It is important to recall that this virus is spread through human interaction, and unless we have some control, unless we have the cooperation of the public, we will not be able to defeat this virus.
Last Thursday, we reported that some 50,000 people had received their first jab of the COVID-19 vaccine since the inoculation process began in early March. That number is up by 7,000 so far, as the second dose is also being administered for the first 3 phases of the rollout exercise. Today, Health and Wellness Minister Michelle Shabat said that another shipment of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine from the COVAX facility will arrive next week. Phase 4 will then begin.
15.7% of our population having received the first dose, which is excellent. I can tell you, Dwayne, that next week we're getting another shipment of vaccinations through the COVAX facility. That will be the 3rd shipment, and so we have enough vaccinations in the country right now so that our people can come out and get vaccinated. Right now we're at phase 3. I would say this very specifically, nobody is being denied the vaccine. However, we're trying to do it in an orderly manner, making sure that those who are at most risk are the first to get vaccinated. Next week, we're going to be opening our 4th phase, which would include persons who are in the public and private transportation business. You know, we're trying to reopen up our tourism industry, and so that becomes a priority for us.
Coming up, trouble in Toledo. The Minister of Agriculture finds people on the payroll with no tools to do their work. Details when we come back.
Infinite Health presents Common Sense Herbs, everything your body needs, and are all natural, dairy-free, non-GMO, cruelty-free, gluten-free, and are FDA monitored. Everything your body needs. Distributor in Belize, Infinite Health, Birdseye, Belize City. Telephone number 613-1914. That's 613-1914.
The vaccine is now available. We here at R&G Life encourage you to take the vaccine. Belize, it's time to roll up our sleeves.
I'm rolling up mine because I know what COVID can do to families.
Because I want to go back to the way things were.
I'm rolling up mine so that I'm able to do music again.
Because I want to protect my family.
Things are slowly getting back to normal. The new normal, which includes getting vaccinated. Take the opportunity to get vaccinated at the R&G Life Wellness Clinic Day on Friday, June 18th. We will also have blood pressure, cholesterol, and other screenings available. Get vaccinated. Roll up for Belize.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call 0800 A Way Out or our cell phone number 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize with funding from the Engender and Spotlight Project.
Want to leave a lasting impact when you travel? Then travel locally. Make memories to treasure for a lifetime while making a difference. Make protected areas your next travel destination. With over 25 protected areas under the APAMO umbrella, the possibilities for adventure and education are endless. You can bond with friends and family while trekking through the jungles to discover natural pools and breathtaking views. Or take that snorkeling trip to the magnificent world of coral gardens and marine life. Then camp under the stars to end off that perfect day in nature. By visiting protected areas, you are helping to preserve valuable plant and animal life. You're building local communities and you're keeping our natural and cultural heritage alive. You have that power. Travel locally and make an impact. We invite you to visit a protected area near you and discover the beauty of Belize's wild places. APAMO, the voice of Belize's protected areas.
Why, Tony?
Why, kid, what you going on, man?
We actually come see you because I need to buy a stack of them plastic plates and cups for my grocery shop because I run low.
Boy, I stopped importing that thing since April 15th, you know. And I just ran out of the last batch, must have been like 3 weeks back, you know.
Man, do I usually have anything? What are you going on?
Check this, right? Under the new law, we ban all single-use plastics, so that the cups, plates, forks, spoons, and knives, all of that. Since April 15th, can't import none of them. Starting January 15, 2021, you can't manufacture them. April 15, 2021, you can't sell them. And after July 14, 2021, if you get catch with any other thing, you will get fined.
Me never know this. I guess I have to make some changes then. I have to make the customers know that anything not available. Anyways, bro. Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Take care.
The skeletal remains of an unidentified male person were retrieved from a bushy area in Elridgeville, Toledo district shortly before noon today. Sometime around 12 o'clock, Punta Gorda police were called out to the village where CIB personnel observed a decomposed corpse clad in a pair of shorts and an orange striped shirt. The discovery was made approximately 500 feet away from the Southern Highway near the boundary between Forest Home and Elridgeville. The scene was processed and investigators were able to collect soil samples for forensic analysis. Police are scoring their database for recent missing persons report that would match the description of the unnamed individual. If you have any information that could assist in the identification, contact the nearest police station. The victim of Tuesday afternoon's fatal road traffic accident involving a high-ranking police officer has been identified as 73-year-old American national Bertina Huron Cruz. As was reported at the time, preliminary investigations indicate ACP Aaron Guzman was driving in the direction of Orange Walk on the Philip Golson Highway when his SUV and Cruz's car collided. Police say that Cruz was driving in the opposite direction and was attempting to overtake another vehicle. An investigation is currently ongoing. We were able to confirm that blood samples were extracted from ACP Guzman and that he was cooperating with investigators. According to the Commissioner of Police, Guzman was in Corzall Town earlier that day on official police business. A man from Trial Farm Village died in a freak accident earlier this afternoon. Police say the farmer, Salvador Ozayeta, was working on a tractor at a cane field in Yo Creek Village in the Orange Walk district. It is believed that while he was reversing, the tractor reportedly fell into a culvert and overturned. Police found his body next to the tractor, and he was taken to the Northern Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The 50-year-old man was from the Blackwater area of Trial Farm. Minister of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise recently concluded a working tour of the country to gain insight into what's happening on the ground at the various branches and departments. Minister Josemai shared his findings today with News 5, including some issues discovered in Toledo that need to be corrected immediately.
Toledo Agriculture Station has no operating tractor, but they have 3 tractor operators. They have a bunch of old tractors. What comes to my view is seek Cabinet's approval, follow the process, action of those old tractors, buy one sensible working rubber tractor to provide tractor services to the farmers in Toledo. Simple as that. Right? All you need to do, all you need to have is the political will to make those corrections. We have 3 tractor operators with no tractor to drive. We have 3 mechanics with nothing to repair. We have 4 persons assigned to cattle, and there's no cattle on the farm. So these are the things that we can correct in a week, right? And we have to do it. Government people are being paid to do a job. The people are paying us to do a job. How can you pay someone that doesn't do anything on the farm? These things is what has this country in a mess. We have to correct them.
While with the Agriculture Minister, News 5 got an update on the 2020 sugar crop. People are wondering whether the industry is going to experience another loss because sugarcane in the fields will not be harvested before the rains begin. And about the access given to Santander in the west to mill sugarcane from the north. Now, ASR-BSI contends that it will be able to mill the sugarcane in the north. But Minister Josemai says that the projections are showing otherwise. That is what triggered the recent cabinet decision to allow Santander the opportunity to mill cane from the north.
The objective is that no farmer should be left with product in the field if it can be sold to someone else. That is the objective. Farmers lost millions last year because of the drought. This year we are saying farmers cannot allow to lose a stalk of cane. Now, ASR contends that they intend to mill all the sugarcane out there. Today's report, because we're monitoring, we have a fixed amount of cane out there right now. There is an amount of cane being milled daily, quantity of cane being milled daily. There's only so many days left before the rains come in. As a matter of fact, we are already in the rainy season. We are fortunate that it's not raining yet too intense in the north. It has rained off and on. So these are the parameters you take into consideration.
That they won't be, ASR will not be able to mill what is left in the field.
We have done several studies. We have done about 3 verification exercises to tell us how much cane is out there left. We know how much has been milled, and we know what is the mill's capacity. When you combine these factors, it is impossible, in our view, for ASR to mill all that cane. Yesterday, the entire of this week, the mill has had serious problems, technical problems, that milling rate has dropped again. When you take the average daily grinding rate and you project it, there is no way that the mill will be able to absorb all that sugarcane.
Minister Mai says that the sugarcane that is being delivered at this time to the millers in the north should have been harvested 1 or 2 months ago, so the quality is not optimum. He says that the milling by Santander has not started just yet, and the process is now in discussion by the Sugarcane Production Committee, because it is this committee that will now determine the quota the Spanish multinational gets.
Cabinet decided that Santander can be allowed to purchase leftover cane in the north, which means that cane which will not be able to be milled by ASR can be purchased by Santander. That was Cabinet's policy decision. Operationalizing it is another matter. We are bounded by laws. There's the Sugar Industry Act. So we have been guided by our Attorney General's office that certain things can be done if you put certain things in place. That is where we are today. Looking at the scenario, we have to make decisions and we have to make it quickly.
So the timeline, because I know you said that the SCPC needs to finalize. So the timeline by when that needs to happen before the rain starts, so that Santander can now get the cane. There has to be a timeline.
We will have a meeting to discuss that with the technicians in the ministry and the sugar board. But we are monitoring the performance of the mill daily. We are monitoring how much cane is out there daily.
After the break, Feeding the Children, a new initiative getting big support. Dwayne Moody has the story when we return. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
My name is Julie, and I'm a single mom raising a 10-year-old son. I am the director for a conservation organization. When I started working in the field of marine conservation, it was absolutely male-dominated. It still is male-dominated. One of my first jobs was as a manager out on a remote island with all male staff reporting to me. And one of my assistants was very upset with me and actually told me, the only woman whoever tells me what to do is my mom. And I have my son, and I really do want to show him that really anything can be done, and it doesn't matter who you are. From day one, I've been teaching my son that any job that a man can do, a woman can do. And he has learned this, and he now preaches this to friends and even my colleagues.
Live and let live. Respect for all Belizeans.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime. While with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
2020 taught us the importance of being connected to the virtual world, and NextGen is here to keep its commitment to you. Even if you're physically apart, NextGen keeps you digitally connected.
Okay everyone, thank you for following me today.
NextGen provides more than just an internet plan. They provide service plans that support all your online needs. Sign up today and get your NextGen's ultra high-speed internet service. NextGen, powered by Central TV and Internet.
I strive to give my child the best nutrition, but I know it's not enough. It's also important to protect him. Clim Growing Up or Clim 1 Plus contains prebiotics, vitamins and minerals that help strengthen their immune system, helping them achieve 100% protection plus nutrition. That's why I give my child Clim 1 Plus. Clim, your love, their future. Clim 1 Plus is not a breast milk substitute from 1 year on.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Andrea Polanco, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Today, the Mexican Embassy in Belize, Belmopan, received a report on the Mesoamerican Hunger-Free School feeding program in the South. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations and the Mexican Agency for International Development Cooperation completed the pilot project where several schools in Toledo were introduced to gardening, where they plant and produce the foods they eat in their feeding programs. It is now expected that the project will be expanded to primary schools across the country. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Subsistence farming has been taken to the schools. A pilot hunger-free project in the South has been completed and the success revealed today during a handing over ceremony. The report of the Mesoamerica Hunger-Free School Feeding Program, when implemented in primary schools across the country, will see that our children never go hungry.
This is a significant contribution towards achieving the Belize we want. I have witnessed firsthand the harmful and lasting consequences food insecurity and malnutrition have on our children. And I can tell you that a guaranteed meal a day is often the reason our children go to school in the first place. It's also the reason they come back and will come back when schools reopen in September.
A sustainable feeding program and school gardens help those who are most vulnerable. To ensure its success, there must be collaboration between various ministries. In attendance today were a number of parliamentarians, including the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House. As the speakers took to the podium, they shared the government's commitment to the eradication of hunger, particularly in schools.
The Ministry of Education is fully committed to ensuring that we develop and implement a national, sustainable, healthy start feeding program. We appreciate greatly the support that we have received as a ministry and as a government from AMEXID and FAO. We fully support, of course, the work of the Belize Parliamentary Alliance Against Hunger and Malnutrition.
Important component of this school feeding programs, or sustainable schools as referred to, has to be that the children must be involved in gardening. They must be involved in producing their food, and that is very important. So yes, different ministries have different roles to play.
Providing the funding and technical support for the project was FAO and AMEXID.
From the bilateral cooperation programs, there is not doubt that this is one of the signature collaborations initiatives that the Mexican government has implemented. For almost 6 years, we have joined force with the government of Belize under the guidance of AMEXID and FAO, aiming to improve the quality of life of the children of Belize.
The rights of children in particular, as it relates to healthy nutrition, is not a political issue. It's not an issue that will be one that will be divisive. This report will only serve the BPAM, as we call it, the Belize Parliamentary Front, to look at what worked, what perhaps needed some improvement, so that moving forward, the initiative to eliminate hunger and malnutrition can be enhanced across the country.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
The battle of the buses in Ladyville is a situation that the Ministry of Public Utilities, Energy and Logistics says is trying to resolve. As we have reported, tensions are rising between 4 bus operators in Ladyville over routes, scheduled runs, and even passengers. Things got physical on Monday when one of the bus operators allegedly attacked a female conductor. CEO at the ministry, Marconi Leal, says the industry is oversaturated with outdated bus permits. He told News 5 that the issue in Ladyville is a prime example of a situation occurring across the country.
We did see the video that was put out by the different media houses in regard to the young lady and her story that she told in regards to other bus operators from the different company and what had transpired there. And so based on that, of course, the police has to investigate, and that's their involvement. But from our standpoint, one of the things that we're doing, and we've been doing it across the country, is really assess some of these permits that are currently in place. And Ladyville is a perfect example, and we're now on the ground doing a study because some of the permits and the timing that are on these permits, because the proper study was not done in the past, we now have challenges where bus operators are claiming that there's an impact there. So we are doing those studies, and basically the study entails looking at the amount of traffic that they have during peak times and off-peak times, because the challenge comes into place in the off-peak times when they only have 4 or 5 people in their bus, and then they want to go out of their current route and their current schedule to try to make additional, to cover basically their costs and to make a profit. The good news is that as a part of the IDB transportation reform project that the Transport Department is engaged in, and right now we're finalizing the consultants that will support us with that. It's a countrywide study that will be done to get the details in regards to all these bus operators, the traffic that we have, and then we do a full revamp of all those permits to enhance the scheduling and the routing.
CEO Leal also told News 5 that his ministry is working on policies behind the scene to upgrade the public transport industry. That includes getting bus operators to put more well-maintained buses on the highways and getting rid of broken down buses. From a short-term standpoint, Leal says the focus is currently on the safety of commuters.
Well, from a safety standpoint, we're definitely more stringent in terms of the inspections that we do at the terminals. So our terminal supervisors and our assistant terminal supervisors are walking in these busing. They're doing the necessary checks to ensure that safety is there, and where there are opportunities for enhancement, example, for tires of buses, warnings are being issued if they are not immediately addressed. But from a more short-term standpoint and looking at the long term, there's a lot of efforts behind the scenes where we're working on policies to ensure that we address these things that we know should have been in place for some time now.
News 5 also asked CEO Leal about his new Chief Transport Officer, Diane Vasquez. Since her appointment on May 18th, the leadership of the Public Service Union has been critical of the choice. Former first Vice President, now President of the PSU, Dean Flowers believes that her qualifications, though extensive, do not fit the post. Flowers also questioned whether any opportunity had been given to personnel within the department for upward mobility. Here's how CEO Leal responded to those concerns.
I think Diane is very dynamic. From the interview that we did with her, the minister and I, we saw that she was definitely going to be a good fit to align with the strategy that we have at the Transport Department. And more specific to some of the things that we want to achieve from a training standpoint, from a enforcement standpoint. I know one of the things that she's very detailed in terms of the reporting that we need in terms of revenues and tracking these things, looking at how we can implement process. So she comes with a wealth of experience that will be able to support the strategy that we have going forward. And from her master's degree that she have, one of the big things that we're looking at from a transport standpoint is our low emission development strategy. And because of her master's degree that she has that would support that, and her research experience in those things, I think from a policy standpoint, she would definitely be able to support some of the key things that we have to do in the transport going forward and the reform project.
One of the things I do have to ask you is if there was no one qualified within the department that could have ranked up to Chief Transport Officer and take that place when the former Chief Transport Officer left.
Yeah, so when Mr. Tersogalvis resigned, there was definitely no one to replace him in the Chief Transport Officer position, and that is because of the lack of succession planning that should have been with the department. So the next post to that was an Operation Officer position, which is still not filled, and we have somebody acting in that position. So there was definitely no one in the department that could have filled the position, which is why we knew that we had to look otherwise to fill the post.
When we return, one last chance for the Belize Jaguars, prepping for the Friday game in Nicaragua when we come back.
Listen, baby. Rain or shine, any weather. When we go bold, we go Berger. Quality paint, no faded colors. When we go bold, we go Berger. Let your imagination run free. Any color for this place, when we say bold, that mean it don't peel. Quality in every color, lifetime guarantee. When we go bold, we go Berger. When we go bold, we go Berger. Rain or shine, any color you need. When we go bold, we go Berger.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardenia Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
The contamination of water we all depend on is a very urgent issue. As Belize's popularity and industries grow, challenges increase. In this episode, we will examine the issue of water pollution in Belize. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies, usually because of human activities. Water bodies include lagoons, rivers, aquifers, and oceans. On the marine side, the discharge of sewage and bilge water from cruise ships and other live-aboard vessels, in combination with unregulated development of coastal areas, has led to the degradation of marine ecosystems such as mangroves and coral reefs. Our inland waters are facing their own challenges. As agricultural development increases, pesticides, fertilizers, and waste products are running off into rivers. Increased river traffic from boat tours and sugar barges adds to the already stressful conditions of the freshwater ecosystems. In addition, companies that collect sewage sometimes dump the waste right into the waterways. Additionally, in densely populated areas like Belize City and Orange Walk, poor sewage designs result in the contamination of groundwater and of water bodies by both sewage and wash water. In many cases, homes and businesses dump their wastewater directly into drains, which leads to rivers and the sea. Wastewater, detergents, and petroleum collect in drains that empty into waterways, such as the New River and the Belize River. This, along with the runoff and discharges from the agricultural and industrial businesses, have been inadequately monitored and enforced. The answers to overcoming water pollution issues are fourfold: improved infrastructure, adequate treatment, increased legislation and monitoring, and of course, changing our habits for the better. While it is urgent that better management on a policy level is needed, there are a few things we can do at home to help. Ensure proper treatment systems are installed for all wastewater at your home and business. Don't dispose of oil from your automobiles or cooking and household detergents down the drain. And lastly, minimize the usage of chemicals and fertilizers and report any dumping into waterways to the Department of the Environment. The government has recognized the threat of inadequate liquid waste management and is working toward goals of reducing and reversing its effects. For more information on what's being done about water pollution and ways you can help, visit our website at doe.gov.bz. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
If you're looking for something to do this week or over the summer school holidays, the Belize Audubon Society is encouraging you to visit one of the national parks they manage. They have been certified with the BTB's gold standard, and so the COVID-19 safety protocols are in place. While these parks and protected areas are central to the tourism offerings for international visitors, they are also open for locals to enjoy a range of activities. Executive Director of the Belize Audubon Society, Amanda Burgess Acosta, tells us more.
The protected areas managed by the Belize Audubon Society are actually gold standard. So we have gone through the process with the BTB to ensure that we have proper signage, we have proper sanitization locations. The staff are all masked and fully sensitized as to how to approach guests. And we are open for business. So the parks that are co-managed by Belize Audubon Society, so Crooked Tree, Half Monkey, Blue Hole, Coxcomb Wildlife Sanctuary. Victoria Peak is closed, unfortunately. That was the only site that we could not open. But St. Herman's Blue Hole is also open on the Hummingbird Highway. All of our parks are open from 8 until 4:30. I forgot Guanacaste National Park as well. But all of these parks are open. They have a mix of trails and swimming and a multitude of activities that you can do depending on the site you go to. But Belizeans should feel safe and comfortable in going to the parks and knowing that the proper COVID measures are put in place for them.
How have the numbers been over the past few months or so since you've reopened your park?
So we've had mix. We do have locals who are taking advantage of the parks being open, and we have national visitors. Coxcomb is open to camping. So camping, we have a nice camping ground. You take your tent and everything that you're going to go with you and spend a nice overnight doing some tubing and hiking. So people have been making the most of that opportunity. We do have visitation. However, it is not obviously what it traditionally was, but it is kind of indicative of where the tourism product is. So if we're saying we have 20% normal visitation coming into the country, Belize Audubon is having about 15% normal visitation to the protected area.
And the good news is that entrance fees to the parks are only $2.50 per Belizean. The Belize Jaguars are anticipating a big win on Friday night when they do battle against Nicaragua in an away match. Belize's national team is participating in the first round of World Cup qualifiers, and having lost its inaugural match against Haiti, won convincingly in its second outing against Turks and Caicos a few weeks later. But will the Jaguars be able to make it past the Central American region? News 5's Isani Catano reports.
It is do or die for the Jaguars as they prepare to face Nicaragua on Friday night in Managua. The football match is the third to be played by Belize in a series of World Cup qualifiers in the CONCACAF Nations League. Having played against Haiti and Turks and Caicos, the team led by Captain Dion Macaulay is set to take on its next opponent in a bid to advance to another round of competition.
I feel very optimistic. I feel like the players that we have here can do the job. I mean, we have a lot of younger players with experienced players as well. So I feel we are ready for the game. I mean, it was unfortunate, the situation in Haiti, but we have now moved past that and we're focused on Friday. Like I said, I mean, that's the most important thing for us to focus on. As professional players, we have to learn to adjust to situations and make the necessary sacrifices to move the team forward.
Moving the team forward means defeating Nicaragua soundly on its home turf, a feat that may not be a walk in the park.
The delegation left on Sunday at around midday and arrived in Nicaragua approximately 24 hours later, and they travel on a luxury liner bus. And now they are well rested and they are focused on the match at hand. We are in a must-win situation. We need to beat Nicaragua and then hope that Nicaragua beats Haiti. Then we will all be tied. It will be a three-way tie in points. And then the team with the best goal record will then advance.
For Team Belize, playing to win means adapting to the field of play. It's nothing new for Macaulay, but the responsibility falls on his shoulders to lead the teammates.
As professional players, we need to adjust, we need to adapt to any obstacle that comes into our way. And I do not feel pressure at all about this game. I think it's 11 v 11. The game is played on the field. So when that whistle blows and the team that is out there, I'm sure will give 100%. And I mean, me personally, I've been in these situations before, so all me as the captain will do is try to guide the younger players as best as possible, along with the coaching staff, and go out there and give it our 100%.
The state of readiness, according to Coach Dale Pelayo, sees the team poised for victory. It began with a training session on Wednesday evening.
Yesterday, we started our preparation for the game, which we had our first training at 5 p.m. That was a success. This afternoon, we have a technical meeting with the team, with the players and coaching staff. And then we leave for final training at 5 p.m., which is the final training for the game on the pitch that we will be playing. And so that is at 7 p.m. The readiness for the team is that the team is focused. We are ready.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
In 2019, a study carried out in Belize showed that 1 in 6 Belizeans have some form of chronic kidney disease, and as many as 3 out of 5 Belizeans are at risk of developing the disease. It's a worrying reality, and these growing numbers put pressure on existing care and treatment infrastructure. And so, when the country's referral hospital gets a donation of 3 hemodialysis machines, it is good news. News 5 attended the handing over ceremony.
The Rotary Club of Belize Sunrise gifted 5 dialysis machines and 2 dialysis chairs to the Ministry of Health and Wellness. This $80,000 donation was made possible through the Rotary Club of St. Albert in Alberta, Canada.
Today, the Rotary Club of Belize Sunrise, in partnership with the Rotary Club of St. Albert in St. City, Alberta, Canada, is pleased to present the Ministry of Health and Wellness with 5 dialysis machines and 3 chairs to enhance dialysis infrastructure and treatment at the Carl Hirschner Memorial Hospital and the Loma Luz Hospital. Understand that 2 additional chairs have been donated by Belize Kidney Care Center. Kidney disease is prevalent here in Belize, and these are key pieces of equipment that will assist in improving the quality of life and provide the gift of many more years to those who are ill.
3 of the dialysis machines and 2 dialysis chairs were handed over to the Carl Hirschner Memorial Hospital. Director of Medical Services of the KHMH, Dr. Adrian Koyi, says the equipment will go a long way for the hospital's dialysis program, as there are more and more Belizeans developing chronic kidney disease or experiencing renal failure.
Renal failure, especially chronic renal failure, is of epidemic proportions in Belize. Unlike nowhere else in the world, we have had, I think, one of the highest rates in Central America on the background of what we call the Mesoamerican nephropathy. In recognizing this, I know Dr. Bermudez and her background knew that this type of gift would be very helpful for our patients. This donation is a very important milestone in the journey that Carl Hirschner has taken for dialysis care over the last 11 years. And again, this donation is going to help us as we are able right now to do about 20 dialysis sessions a day on average. And we believe that with this injection of new machines, that it will assist us to offer even more services down the road.
In 2010, the KHMH began to offer special renal failure care and management through a collaborative project. And since then, it has expanded with a team of certified dialysis-trained nurses who provide hemodialysis services.
In that period of time, we were able to manage 15 patients regularly with chronic therapies only. Over the years, however, we have had many major milestones. So apart from having an excellent track record in dialysis, we have had excellent outcomes. We've had in the beginning 5 or so dialysis machines, and in the last year and a half, we have increased our capacity to 8 units, which matches going from chronic renal failure management to acute renal failure care. So in Carl Hirschner's journey, we are now able to manage patients in our ICU that need hemodialysis. We are able to manage patients on the medical ward that need hemodialysis, and with our COVID battle, we've developed the capacity to deliver dialysis patients with COVID or suspicion patients under investigation. And all of this is very important in our efforts to deliver the best care to all our patients in all categories. And finally, to say then that we are able to even have a unit now identified just for patients who have infectious diseases such as hepatitis, etc., and to have dialysis separate for them with an individual unit.
According to Koyi, KHMH's hemodialysis program also offers peritoneal dialysis as well as vascular access for dialysis patients, a unique service to KHMH. Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
Just ahead, a trendy new micro-brewery for Belize's biggest brewer. Paul Lopez takes a trip to the brewery when we return. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
One year ago, an invisible but deadly virus altered our way of life. Upon assuming my responsibilities as Minister of Home Affairs, over 190 members of the Belize Police Department had contracted the virus. And regrettably, 2 of our heroes in uniform lost the battle on the front line of this pandemic. Today, I can proudly say that there are no reported cases within our department, and this is directly attributable to the phenomenal work of the healthcare workers and the team over at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. We are in this together. I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine. This is our chance, our opportunity, our window to return to normalcy. #GetVaccinated_Belize.
It is my time
to protect your life.
Don't wait to vaccinate.
I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine.
The vaccine is the best way to protect lives.
Don't wait, vaccinate.
Don't hesitate, Belize.
Vaccinate. Be COVID-19 safe.
If you care,
love them.
Protect them.
Vaccinate them.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
So I'm going to wonder if by chance I could get your number. It's digit. Nice.
Of course, you have digital, right?
Yeah, of course.
The truth is, your credit lasts way longer with Digi. Like if you top up with like $30, that could last you 90 days. With the other guys, that must save 60. Then with the other guys, you have to use all of your good prime credit before you even touch your bonus credit. But with Digi, you could use your bonus credit before you even touch your prime credit. Like, what are the point to have free credit if you can't use it how you want? So, what are your number?
Just give me one moment.
The truth is, only Digi offers nationwide LTE coverage, fastest mobile data speeds, and the best call quality.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
Brewery is Belize Brewing Company's latest seven-figure investment venture, located just a short distance from the Philip Golson International Airport. The microbrewery and restaurant venue is now open for Belizeans and foreign visitors. The design of the venue's interior gives keen focus to the history and heritage of the company. But what they hope visitors are most excited to experience are all their different flavors of experimental beverages and foods. News 5's Paul Lopez toured the facility and filed the following report.
Welcome to the brewery, Belize Brewing Company, and the home of Belikin. You can see that we're in the middle of a beautiful state-of-the-art facility, as well as a history facility that demonstrates some of the heritage and history of Belize Brewing Company in the country.
Here, with a microbrewery system, Belize Brewing Company is experimenting with beers. This facility has been in the making since 2017.
Completely automated system where we can brew beer from beginning to end on this facility in smaller volumes of about 1,000 liters per batch, which now allows us to be able to experiment. We can pretty much make any beer style from around the world at this particular time. We can invent our own local beer styles, which is some of the things that we're experimenting with right now. Bud pepper, orange, fever grass, anything that we want, we can add to create a brand. I can tell you all, some of you who have talked to me before, you would be amazed as to what Belizeans ask us to make beer out of.
You will not be able to miss the 6 fermentation tanks sitting behind the bar. These tanks are filled with all the new types of beers being worked on at the brewery.
The original thought was we needed to be able to be innovative, innovate our portfolio, diversify our portfolio. We needed a pilot system in order to do that.
And the company also had a need for a place where they can welcome guests to learn more of its history and heritage in the industry.
Also, we also had a need, if you look at our previous facility, it was an industrial production compound. We never had a welcoming center where we could bring our customers, our consumers, tourists, guests, bring them into our facility comfortably, entertain them, tell them a little bit about our history. That became important to us, and we decided, why not pair the two together? Why not pair a welcome center, the home of Belikin, the home of Belize Brewing Company, along with our pilot testing facility.
And that is how the brewery was born. Its doors were opened to the public on January 15th, 2021.
The investment that we've made is for all Belizeans. We're welcoming them to the home of Belikin, to the home of Belize Brewing Company. We now have a visitor center opening up to the public. We hope to have all of them here, every single Belizean coming to visit. It's extremely exciting for us. We're extremely proud of it.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
And that's the news. Tune in immediately after the news for a special on the inauguration of the new annex of the Holy Redeemer Credit Union. Don't forget that tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.